Alrighty, it's going to take time for people to actually come in because I haven't set this up or anything. So,
That's
who's
right,
you have playing today?
Right, who did I have? Well, I think everyone's got max score. That worked out all right. Had Clayton Oliver, so that worked out all right. Had Bailey Smith, first week of Bailey Smith, so I was pretty happy with that. But yeah, missed out on big Connor O'Sullivan and Tom Stewart, and one of those people that had traded out Tom Stewart last week when he did his injury. I was just like, yeah, can't be stuffed. I've dealt with Tom Stewart before, and I've dealt with Tom Stewart before. He's done exactly, again, what he did the previous year, but feels like whenever I have him, he likes to be injured for a bit longer and probably comes back with like a 60. So, yeah, just unlucky.
Mate, I mean, I'm a bit annoyed at the Stewart thing because obviously I traded him in after round one for Perryman, and I traded him out. I got Zorko out of it, so I'm not too.
Yeah, I went Perryman to Stewart as well.
Yeah. But yeah, oh well. What can you do? I got Baz in this week, so first week of owning Baz, so that's all good. I just had Baz and Clary playing.
Fair enough.
Because Holmes owners would be happy. He's like 30% owned.
Yeah, it's I saw a few people this week go Holmes instead of Tom Stewart. So they're like, yeah, Tom Stewart, might be dropped, worst job security due to the injury and all this kind of stuff. And then, yeah, Melbourne have a tagger, which no one really talked about. And then Holmes got basically tagged. So, yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, no, not great. Well, we'll get through some questions. Sparrow, count your days. He's not happy. He's not happy.
I think Jack Henderson as well, count your days, which is really disappointing.
Yeah.
Was okay in the first half, and then his time on ground says 73%, but it was not 73%. There were periods of time in that, I think, second and third quarter that were like 12 minutes on the bench.
Yeah.
I've
got him as well. I forgot about him. So yeah, I have him as well.
Me too.
He's kind of just a forgettable player on my bench, I guess. But yeah. Connor O'Sullivan, what a miss. Yep, huge miss. I reckon you could have got him in this week and you'd be happy. So
yeah.
But yeah, looks like way too late now. Way too late.
It was interesting because I was kind of teetering around with getting the likes of Murphy Reed into the team. And for 2K more, you could have got O'Sullivan and basically had a primo defender for 200K. So yeah, he's going to outscore Sin. He's going to outscore basically everybody. Just lucky that I've got Reed and Trainer kind of scoring similar for the next couple of weeks, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully Bison Trainer can pull out some good scores for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love having two working knees. See, this is a guy I play footy with, and I bloody hurt my knee on the last weekend. So he's taken the mick out of me.
Well, you see Tom Stewart as well. Like halfway through the second quarter, he's like banged his knee and was doing like, no, not good. And then he just jumped back up again, and then that was it. So yeah, Tom Stewart loves two knees too.
Max stinks. Yeah. I mean, he played a really average first half, I thought. I thought he was all right in the second half, but yeah, Sam De Koning seemed like he was killing him early. People that traded Sam De Koning out wouldn't be too happy. 92.
No.
Probably expected a floor game against Gawn, but yeah, just a bit unlucky.
Yeah, I think he was very, very. He was very, very lucky.
He went down back and up forward. He didn't really play much ruck. He only had the two outs. But yeah. Good evening, mate. Tommy's not the same. I assume he means he. Yeah.
Tom Stewart.
Yeah, he means Tom Stewart. So yeah, Tom Stewart. I don't know. He he got a lot of cheap ball. I reckon Melbourne are the new Saints, like in regards to halfbackers doing well. I reckon.
Mm.
I don't know. That's kind of what I gained from this. I reckon Pryor and Reed are gonna do well next week, as well as Sardell Hooley.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I think Melbourne might be the new St Kilda.
Mm.
Yeah, Baz is good. I think Henderson is dropped next week. What a letdown of a pick. I mean, they have about 5 players on their list that could get dropped, Melbourne, to be honest.
Mm.
So
I think he might be okay. I think maybe a Harry Sharp or a Spargo, a couple of these other players may get dropped before Henderson, just due to Henderson playing a role that they kind of need him to play. He just got murdered by the time on ground, really. And
yeah,
Melbourne didn't run the ball through to the forward line like they did a little bit in the first quarter. Felt like they just bombed it long, which obviously when you won, I don't know how tall Henderson is, but he's not a big fella.
yeah, no, for sure. I mean,
177 centimeters. So yeah,
yeah,
I think they'll keep him around a bit
almost
longer.
wanted him to be the new Chandler when Chandler came in. I think that's what Melbourne wanted him to be. I don't know if he can. I don't think he can be that, but
I thought they picked him to be Neil Bullen.
maybe, yeah, that might
Yeah,
be right.
which gives me hope that they'll keep him a bit longer because he's only played 4 games at AFL.
Yeah, and to think we could have picked O'Sullivan in the week we picked Henderson is just
Yeah,
a bit annoying as well. Happy with Smith, Gorn, straight C, and failed TDK VC.
nice.
122, not great, but not bad. Yeah, you take a 122 captain score every day of the week. You just
Mm,
take it. It's not the best, but it's certainly not the worst, and I'm sure you're going to see a lot worse captain scores this week. Hopefully
yeah,
not. But yeah,
like if you can make 2K this week, which I think is probably doable with guys like Ashcroft at 55, and a few people got Moraes in. He's only break even. Sorry, projected 42, and even Davidson and Powell Pepper, 62 and 46. Like there's a lot of money to be made in these type of players. I think you just don't want to be on the opposite end. Like I know a few people might have put the C on Max Holmes. A few people put the C on Oliver as well, even a Bailey Smith. I saw a couple of people this week. So you just don't want to be on the opposite end.
yeah,
Maybe don't pick Ruckman from now on, Sports Nut, and go for some like quality plays instead, because it feels like Ruckman, you reckon, God, that like Ruckman aren't scoring as much as previous years, maybe?
yeah. It feels a bit like that. I mean, Sherry's still scoring,
Mm,
so he just had that one game where he had a niggle. So I and TDK he scores as well. Even though he might have like a ton one week, but then he'll have like a 140 the next. So yeah, I I think not as many ruckman scoring would be probably what I'd say.
mm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I have to get a ruckman in next week because I have Flynn. But
He could be named. You could be bailed out a little bit. That'd be cool.
yeah, hopefully BJ has like 3 hitouts. But yeah, doubt that's
Mm,
going to happen. Glad I faded Henderson and went O'Sullivan. Yep, that's a very
yeah,
good fade.
very lucky.
Um, he played the Jack Henry role tonight because
Oh,
Jack Henry got injured early. So yeah, I mean, I think he was going to score well regardless. To be honest,
like last 2 weeks, just pulling up his scores, he'd have decent games as well. He just when you look at Geelong, definitely not Carlton. Geelong definitely Collingwood as well. Sydney sometimes they'll get a new player that comes in, and because the team is so solid, they just let them run free and kind of do whatever you like.
yeah,
He's probably like 5th best defender, but when you're that type of player, like people just forget about you. And I reckon half his points today were from like intercepts. Like the guy had 13 marks. It's ridiculous.
Now, what I want to ask you, Big J, is
Mhm.
are the North Melbourne Kangaroos going to knock off the Swans this week?
I'd hope so. I'd like to hope so. I think it's more. I think it's more the quality of team is there, but
Yeah,
it's more about just how North Melbourne play than Sydney beating us. Like if we beat ourselves, then Sydney win. But if we actually play to our game plan and play to our strengths, then we'll win. I think that the quality of players is fairly even. So,
yeah,
especially with Sydney having a few outs,
yeah.
I just want to see Whitlock do well.
I think North are a real shot. I'm tipping him. I'm going to tip him. If Sherry's a laid out, I don't think he will be, but if he is,
Nah, he'll play.
yeah. But if for the off chance he is, then I'll change my tip. But that's the only way I'd change my tip, really. O'Sullivan was awesome. Yep. Smith got scaled up when went on the bench in the last quarter.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of expected when you're on a winning side anyway. I think in that last quarter, you just get scaled up for doing nothing. So you take that.
I quite liked Bailey Smith's game. Like I think his first game of AFL in the Geelong colours when he went 170
Yeah.
was really unsustainable. I mean, like he went 170, so of course it's unsustainable. But like today's game, it didn't feel like he was super impactful, but still trudged out, a 108/127.
Yeah.
Like that's very doable for him to do every week.
Yeah, for sure. Especially what was his disposal efficiency? It would have been pretty low.
Like 67. Like it wasn't even that. It wasn't super low, but 2 out of 3 kicks or passes go to a team member. Like it's decent enough.
Yeah, it seemed worse watching it. I tell you what.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we barely saw him for the second half, and he still got over 100, like 50-point half. So yeah, it's good science.
Yeah, for sure. What else do we have here? Sometimes we overthink picks like Koss, but I think the
Yeah.
logic of not going with him for some was there. But damn, he looks great. Yeah, I think the main reason we didn't want to get him was because of his job security with College Asney coming back. It looks like I don't know how they drop him.
Yeah.
Now, like he's playing really well, and he was all the hype was about him after the game as well. So,
and all of the hype in the preseason was about him too. Just how good he was. He's going to break out. SDK is going to take some ruck time. I think content creators, especially, I had this argument with someone on Twitter tonight. Like content creators sometimes push a narrative a little bit, where they're like a lot of people like, yeah, he's got no job security, good player, whatever. But like obviously games like today, I would keep him and drop other people. Like that's how good of a player he is in his second year.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Is he in his second year?
Yeah, he was drafted last year.
Oh, I didn't realise. Alrighty. Do I
pretty
take
sure.
122 Gorn C or do I go with the Zorko C? I'd just take Gorn.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah, take VC Gorn. Would you blokes bring in Bice and 150k bank or spend up for Humphrey and only 40k? Marich and Smith are my first 2 ins this week. I'd bank.
Okay. I would say purely for the fact that you're probably spending a trade regardless. If you think Humphrey is going to keep up with his level of scoring, and if you think that in doing so, he's going to end up being a keeper, then grab him at that price. Because if you bring in Bice, the money's great, but you're spending another trade to trade Bice out. So if you can grab Humphrey and have another keeper in your forward line at 270k, like you're laughing. Your forward line could be finished with Marich and then Humphrey in there. So I would say if you like the pick, his stats don't lie. Like he's a good player. So if you like the pick, then grab him. Miss out on the rookie unless your cash gen is really dead. But for most people's cases, you've got 5 defenders, 5 or 6 primos already. If you can fill out your forward line, all of your trades are now going on to like 5 or 6. Sorry, yeah, 5 or 6 mids, and that's it. So could work out really well for you if the pick turns out to be good.
Yeah. I don't know. Are you picking Humphrey or Marich?
I have picked neither.
Neither. All right.
Nah, a lot of my rookies got dropped this week. So Aiden Johnson went. Hewitt went, and a few of the other players went as well. And I had a look at my bench, and I had like 2 green dots, and was just like, no, I can't do it. So spent the trades on fixing up the rookies. So Moraes in and Bice in. Said, cool. Well, I'll miss out on those guys. Rookies are basically averaging 90 at the moment anyway. So I'll just take the cash gen and then get someone I'm more convinced in, to be honest.
Sure.
My original team, my original trades had like me getting Bailey Smith and then Humphrey into my team. And then having like Bice, but it meant me having to drop like Pal Pepper and then Ashcroft and stuff. And with Best 22 next week, it felt like it was too scarce, if that makes sense. So I just had to get in the guys that, at least next week I don't feel bad and I don't have to fill Henderson at M8,
Yeah, no, I understand that. Get your rookies in. But yeah, poor Henry. Yeah, no, Jack Henry, no good. I don't know what he's actually done, but don't know he's injured.
Do you think Petrarca's gone?
What do you mean?
Like I reckon there was some commentators this week saying, hey, if Petrarca went, because last year and the year before, like Melbourne's not been doing very well. He's getting to the age where he probably needs to start going for another premiership or go to a better club. Oliver and himself may have been shopped around a little bit. I reckon looking at how Petrarca was today after the game, he looked really upset. Like really, really upset. To the point where if I was Petrarca, I would be like, hey, I want out of this team. We're not playing finals. I want to play finals next year. We'll be bottom 5. Give me, take a first round pick and then let me go. Because Melbourne don't have a first round pick. They swapped it off to Essendon. So, yeah, early predictions. But I reckon Petrarca might have played his last season at Melbourne. Because Max Gawn's gone as well. Like, Max Gawn, maybe one more year. So they have no ruckman coming through. I wouldn't be surprised as well if Melbourne put in a big bid for Ned Moyle too. Just say, come be our ruckman for the next 10 years.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad shout, I reckon. I think Petrarca. I keep seeing all these Petrarca Collingwood posts, so I don't know. Maybe
I think after last year and how he was treated, like he really didn't want to come back to the club.
No. O'Sullivan is favourite now for the Rising Star.
Yep,
yeah, you'd have to think so. North versus Carlton will be a blockbuster. It actually will. No, it seriously will. Oh, I was at the game last night. It was so good. Oh my god, I love beating the Blues.
Yeah.
Is it at the SCG?
No, it's at Marvel. I think they're talking about the Sydney North game this week. It's at Marvel, Johnny.
How did Sydney play at Marvel normally?
Not as good as North Melbourne, considering it's our home ground.
Yeah, right. Okay. I had Holmes VC. That's all right. That's why we get the double chance. Smith is a lock.
Hope
Yeah,
so.
sure. So happy I did a late minute change. Decided to trade out JHF instead of SDK. Yeah, well done.
Nice work.
Let's just hope. Let's hope JHF goes 120 this week. That's what I want. Lawson Humphreys robbed 115 fantasy, but only 86 SuperCoach. Need 100 plus as a massive pod.
Yeah.
Well, as we can see, Baz had 127 fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, just
Look at
it
Zach
just has,
Guthrie, man. 150. What a beast.
I know. It's nuts. But yeah,
I really like Humphreys. He saved my ass last year in SuperCoach and got me close to top 500, which was fantastic. His only problem is that they generally play through the back line, and sometimes when the passage of play happens, if they go through Stanley on the other wing or things like that, like he could go missing and not get a touch for like 5-10 minutes. So that's the only rough part.
Nah, Humphreys is a good player. He'll be a good pod for you. He'll pump out when he needs to pump out, I reckon. Langford disappointing for those that swapped from Nevitt. Yeah,
Yep.
Langford was on about 30 at half time. What did he end up on? He ended up on 39.
39.
So really, really not good by his standards.
You could have gone Nevitt to O'Sullivan for 20k this week.
Yeah, 100%. Like
it's wrong.
It's ridiculous.
It's so wrong.
I needed Gorn to go 130 plus.
Mm.
I'm tempted to go Zorko or Sinclair as C. I don't mind Sinclair. I'd probably captain Sinclair over Zorko this week.
Yeah, I think. I really like Zorko. I think he'll play okay at MCG, but just like going back to it was a little bit silly, obviously hindsight wise, but Max Gorn not being in good form for the last however long. Chucking the vice captain on him, but just take it. Take the 122.
Definitely take a 122. Like my rule's 120. Like anything 120 or above, just take it. Honestly. Season over. That's big Mo Salah. It is season over, mate. It's always season over. Weather was a factor with me last week, and Scott said Koss wouldn't have played if College Asney was there round one.
Yeah, he'll play every week now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's moving.
Mm-hmm.
Mo Salah banned for a week in FTTV. Joined my server. Oh, Mo. Oh, my God. I think I'm already in your server, mate. Do you guys think Houston will be a top 6 defender? And when will Track get DPP forward? Houston won't be a top 6 defender.
Look, I really like Houston. I think if Houston stopped punching people in the head, which he just did to Rankin, got off a 5-week suspension, and now he's done it to who was it? He did it to is it Fogarty? He just did it to Fogarty again, and now he's got another 2-week suspension. So if he stopped doing that, I think he would be in a fair chance. Like feels like with Collingwood, and you'd probably be able to tell me, but Darcy Moore's lost a bit of that kick outs, and Houston's almost like the main man now in the back line, leaving Darcy Moore to kind of be a key defender. So I love the role. I think it's okay. He's probably going to average a 105 to maybe a 110. But with so many good players in our back line now, like Houston could average as much as Connor O'Sullivan. So just put that into reference. Like that's how good he is. So yeah, Track will get DPP most likely this week. I think someone had posted that he's had 66% forward this week, so it's definitely pushed him into the double. Tim Mitchell did say that it's the end of round 5, whereas previously it was the end of round 6 because of how the buys worked out. So end of next week, you'll get Track forward status. So yeah, and he'll be a bit cheaper too.
Yeah, track will be good to get. Really good to get.
Yeah. If he plays okay.
Nevitt is a hold. Yes. Yes, he is. Until we get further, you don't reckon?
No. I reckon if he had scored well and then got the foot injury, I think maybe it was a little bit different. But we've got guys like Clay Hall and Toby potentially going to be cash cows next week. That 20 just tanks his cash gen. And right now is the most crucial thing. So you could go, let's pretend Clay Hall scores a 60 this week. You could almost go Nevitt to Clay Hall, bank 70K. And then he could almost be Nevitt's price just after the price rise. So it's a bit rough. Just kind of that 20 means that probably for the next 3 weeks, he's going to not make much money until it cycles out. So, yeah, that's why I kind of got rid of him.
Yeah, I just wanted to hold him for one more week just to see where the look. I'd Finn O'Sullivan, so I could just trade out Finn O'Sullivan and be fine with it.
Gotta go. Yeah. No, that's fair.
So and then hold Nevitt for a week, just get a read on how long he's actually out for, because surely something comes out, and then make a decision from there. But yeah, I don't think you have to trade out Nevitt this week. You can always just trade him out next week if need be. Holmes, yep, no good. Holmes getting tagged is a bit of a worry. Yes, it is.
I think he'll be the main tag target.
So
I don't think you can tag Tom Stewart. He just sits in the back line. He might get some attention from different players, but 100%, Holmes running through the middle, being that halfback type of running midfield, I think he's the one that takes the tag. So just got to be careful.
Yeah, or maybe Baz in the future. Never know.
I think he's too big. Like Baz didn't do much in that second half, man. He's still got 50 SuperCoach. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah,
Track hasn't looked interested at all so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, he's checked out, hasn't he?
Yeah.
In fantasy, I VC'd Smith for the 127. That's very good, mate. Very good VC. How hard will it be to predict the best mids this year with all the tagging going on? Love to pick up Nick Dacos, Neil Holmes, but the tag.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Why don't we get Mr. Rookie Coach to take us through that one? How you going, mate?
Oh, give me the hard question to start off. Jeez.
I didn't want to take it.
I mean, I think it's going to fluctuate. I don't think there's going to be the best mid. I think we're just going to see it kind of fixture related, to be honest. Like, there's going to be patches of like Dacos taking M1 when he doesn't have tag games, and then it'll go to Neil. I don't know if Holmes is in that discussion, if I'm being honest. But for Dacos and Neil, I think it's just how often are they getting the tag? If they're like, again, they might have a tough fixture to start with, but then second half of the season, they open up and they become M1. I think that's probably more of what's going to happen. I don't think we're going to have a true M1. It's just going to be who got tagged the least.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we'll end up taking a bit of advantage from our DPP players, to be honest. Like, I think Stewart might get DPP. His midfield time's a bit more. I can totally see someone like a Sinclair getting pretty close to M1, considering his DPP at the moment. So, yeah, I think I did a prediction in the preseason on someone else's channel. It was basically like, who's going to be M1? And I'm like, yeah, might be Sinclair with the DPP, maybe with DR. So, yeah, kind of just defenders are outscoring everyone at the moment. So if you can get one of those in other positions, you're doing very well. Heck, a lot of people are going to get Ryan Marich in the forward line as a defender. So
it's also another reason why maybe a Matt Rao could actually be a good pick this year.
Yeah,
like because you can't tag him.
You don't tag him over Anderson. Like,
yeah, you're going to tag Anderson, right? Because Rao's going to go in and get the hard ball anyway, and still ton up. So I don't know. It's why, I guess it's why we've kind of picked all these mid-priced midfielders this year because they're not going to get tagged. We didn't think Callahan would get tagged, but he did. But oh well. Callahan will go 150 this week, and it will be great.
Hope so.
I might captain him actually. I actually think he's a good captain option.
I actually think he's a sneaky captain option as well. If I had him, I'd be considering it.
Can't wait to see North beat Carlton this year in a few weeks. Will be a blockbuster this year.
Yeah.
North will beat Carlton. North will beat Sydney, I reckon. And I reckon Vossi is gone. Vossi has to go. If they lose either one of North and West Coast, he has to go. I reckon.
Yeah.
Not shit talking North, but yeah, I don't know.
No, I think the only reason why they wouldn't get rid of him is just for the stability wise. Like, if you said, cool, this is my last year, whatever, or if they knew kind of it was going to happen, then sure. But like, what are you going to do? Just have an interim coach for like 6 months, not be able to really change the team, and then at the end of the year, we'll just find someone else. Like, yeah, makes it a bit tough, you know.
Yeah. Had Holmes, unfortunately, but also have Stewart, who scored 120 injured, call it even. Yeah, I mean, just take the good with the bad, I guess. Yeah, bit. I haven't seen many teams with both Holmes and Stewart.
No. But
yeah, I guess you're probably gonna get that a bit where one of your players from one team scores well, one doesn't do so well. Who do you think will score better as a captain, Zorko, Neil, or Callahan?
Oh, Zorko. Zorko, bro.
Yeah. I don't know, mate. I honestly think you're just you're flipping a 3-sided coin and just yeah. I'd almost captain Neil over Zorko this week.
Who does Graham? Does Graham still play? Who they still got Nick Vlotston and stuff, right? He tags a little bit. So
this is the thing, though, is like at Richmond, you might have Mr. Headband himself try to give attention to Neil as like maybe a run with, and then for West Coast, Jack Graham might try to run with Callahan potentially or Green.
Yeah, so
they tried doing that last week.
We saw what Jack Graham did a little bit of a run with role with Sarong. It didn't really work out, did it?
No, but if you're wanting like a good captain score, you 100% go on Zorko.
Yeah, that's
like Zorko every week. If you don't own Zorko by now, like it's not season over, but it's a little bit rough. Like he takes basically every kick out, and he's probably good for 1 or 2 goals a game. Like, he's pretty good.
I'm holding JHF thoughts. Me too, mate. I'm gonna ride the wave, declining wave.
No,
I'm gonna get on my bike and go down the hill. But yeah, I think he'll be all right with Butters coming back. I think he'll just go. Hopefully, he just goes back to scoring what he did last year, and we'll be all well and good. And yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think holding JHF is viable, or
you want to go first, Coach?
I mean, I am holding him, so it's kind of better copium that he's come up on 7 News and done a full piece about how he's going to get better and how he got reamed for not stepping up and all this sort of stuff. So I'm hoping there's a corner to be turned with Butters back. But yeah, it's that odd thing as like Francis could have easily been like Butters and Smith and Marek for you this week. So it's like, okay, does that work for your structure? Because I was so undecided about holding the horny one, I decided to just go back to my plan that I had, which had no emotions tied to it. It wasn't reactionary. It was planned 2-3 weeks ago. So I've just defaulted back to that, which means I hold him. I do nothing. I, get Smith in for some rookies, and I just flip some dead ones, and I keep holding on to the people that I can, and that includes the broken fridge, who I hope turns it around this week.
Yeah.
With myself, I got rid of Horn Francis last week. Couldn't be happier. I mean, got a defender in, fixed up a hole in the back of the team there. Was the same week that Trainer and Reed both outscored Horn Francis as well, and ended up having both of those on field, which was very nice. He's never averaged like a monster score in his career. Last year was great, but there was a lot of inconsistency there as well. And I think the biggest tipping point for myself was the amount of cash he's going to lose. So this week he's going to lose even some more money, break even at 151. But once the news of guys like Petrarca and a few others coming in and as like DPP options really kind of swayed me. And then also like I basically have 4 of the top 6 forwards, and I didn't want to put another round 12 person in there as well. So if I can offload one of those for someone else who doesn't have round 12 by, potentially pick up a Petrarca who I think may average more than Horn Francis, hopefully, if he lifts his game and Melbourne stop being shit, can grab someone else in the process as well. So it was more just, hey, what can I do with the money that I had available? Cool, I'll go and jump on I probably should have gone Sinclair, but ended up jumping on Jordan Clark instead. But that week I traded out Horn Francis with some cash and got Clark and Whitfield in the back line. So I was pretty happy with that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the big move was trading him out last week. I think for sure that if I had my time back, I would have traded him out last week as well. So, but I think just going to hold now. What is he, 480? 480K.
Yeah.
So
like he'll drop to 450 probably if he doesn't score a 150 this week. You could almost sideways him to Tom Stewart if you really wanted to. If you're going to figure out that way, but yeah, he's probably good for a 90 average for the season. But maybe when Port get a few more players back, he stops getting attention. But he just feels like he's been relegated to the forward line coach. Like he's just 80% forward in the last few weeks, and cool. If you don't get the ball in the forward line, you can't really get a lot of score.
There was, because I watched the little piece he did on like 7 News, and there was one little bit that didn't make me happy, and it was I was practicing marking again at training, so I think they might throw me forward a bit more. And I heard that, and I'm like, and I shit you not, this was 2 minutes before bounce. So I'm like, can I quickly flip to like Humphreys and Marek or so? Can I quickly do something? And I'm like, no, I'm gonna miss out on Smith because I'll mess up the trades on my phone. So my laptop wasn't near me. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna have to wear it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he spends more time forward. But in saying that, he might actually kick a bag against the Saints, so it could potentially work in his favor.
So,
but
have you faded Smith?
No, I got Smith in.
Oh, okay. I'm
yeah, no. So my plan.
Horn Francis
my plan was originally to get.
It would have been.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is like,
yeah,
is it going to be consistent enough for him to be a top 6 to 8 forward player? Probably not. Not when we get in like track DPP and stuff. But no, I did not fade Smith. I'm not that silly. I got him in. I flipped some rookies, and that was about it. So I was able to use some cash on rookies and cash in the bank, so I didn't have to trade out any mid prices or keepers or hopeful keepers to get him in. So and that was my plan for like the last 2 weeks. And again, I couldn't make up my mind. I was emotionally invested to drop Horny Man after the crap performance he's given us, but just went on my plan. So
Zorko the Magnificent. Yes. Yeah, I think he's gonna be my captain this week. So hopefully bloody puts in a good effort. I'll be putting the C on Zorko this week. Last time Zorko scored 161 points against Richmond last year. Yep, that is exactly what happened. Yeah, hopefully he does that again. That'd be elite. Having Holmes, Baz, and Stewart concerns me, as one will get tagged each week, but oh well. Yeah, I mean, as we were saying, I haven't really seen many teams with all 3. But yeah, I mean, one's bound to score bad every week, I guess. Yeah, it's hard owning the top 3 players in any team really. So But yeah,
Where would you rank them in tag targets? Like who's the first tag target that
Holmes
teams
is
would go to?
first.
yeah.
100%
I'd tag Holmes first, and then probably Baz, only because I think you're better off taking out a midfielder from in the game than a defender.
It's trying to stop that transition that Baz gets. Like that's part of his role is that transition from halfback out. I think Stewart's on the bottom list of that. So if Stewart can get to a nice price for me, I can flip the fridge for him, which would be nice.
Yeah, I can use 3 trades on Stewart, and then I'll probably have to use a 4th when he gets injured
to get him out again.
Yeah. Wookie coach. Yes.
Wookie coach. How are you, Jonas?
DJ Gardner Holmes. Rook folding on his hot take that Holmes could be top 6 after just 1 week.
That was never a serious hot take. He was always going to get tagged. What did he end up doing this week? What was it? It was
72.
I mean, that's not hot. That's a pretty average tag score as well. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm hot and cold on Holmes.
Yeah. As a Pies fan, can Voss be signed to Carlton on a lifetime contract? Yes, that would actually be great. That would be great. I actually don't know if Voss is that bad. I think that I just want Voss to get sacked so that Melbourne have to go through another 5 coaches again before they can find their next guy for 3 years. So, I just wish the worst for the Carlton Football Club.
I think it's a mix. I think it's a mix of poor game plan, where we've seen guys like Adam Chera spending 8+ minutes on the bench, and he's basically their best mid at the moment. Versus like weird takes. I think was watching Blue Abroad yesterday, and Curnow was in the back line for periods of time playing halfback defender, and then Wiedering went forward as the full forward in the 4th quarter, and like just stupid stuff like that alongside of the players just probably not performing and being very good. So
yeah. Oh well, Pies are 3-1, and life couldn't be any better.
He could be 4-0.
Sorry?
You could be 4-0 instead of 3-1.
Yeah, no, but also we're kind of 3-0 because round 0 doesn't count. So I don't think round 0 counts. We're not going to be playing in round 0 again anyway, so who cares? Apparently.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jaden Short for being the biggest fraud. Yes. We'll give him a quick shout out. He absolutely stinks, and he will never be picked in a SuperCoach team ever again, I hope.
Until it comes next preseason and he does it again.
Yeah. We all get suckered into picking him again.
For it this time.
We're just like, no, we're a year early. It's this year.
No, Well, the thing is with him, we thought Richmond are going to be so bad that the ball is just going to live down there, and he's going to get all the ball, and that just hasn't happened. So
no, it's happened. Just Ben Miller's taken all of the ball. It's no longer Jaden Short backman. It's Ben Miller's backman time now.
Yeah, and they share kick-ins around and all this,
and Blight as well. Yeah.
Do we take a Gorn 122 VC? Yep, we do. One of my mates. Oh, Rookie, what do you think? Would you take the Gorn 122 if you had him VC?
Oh, sure. I think anything over 120 is probably a safe VC because, like, you're taking a risk then. I could have taken McRae's last week and then I ended up being down 30 points just because I decided to go dunks. Yeah.
One of my mates doesn't have Smith and Zorko in his team. Well, one of your mates, his season is over.
Does he have a cash league, Corey? Is it too late to join his cash league?
Yeah. Does he have a bounty on bloody Skodfather's comp?
Yeah, God's going to need to be chasing another bounty after this week. because he won't get mine.
Who have you had play this week so far, rookie? I want to. Actually, I should add you as a rival on.
I've got
SuperCoach.
you as a rival.
Oh, do you?
I do.
I'm gonna have to get you up, but
I've
can you see live
had.
scores on that?
Let's have a look.
But anyway, Sarong and McRae captain. Sarong.
Yeah,
Who's
I'll probably
Sarong?
go Sarong.
I'd probably go Sarong. Sarong's got an easy matchup.
McRae might cop attention now that Steele's also out again.
Yeah. JHF 120 this week, calling it. I bloody hope so. That'd be so funny if he goes 120. Oh my god. Holding JHF because I just think he's not going to do much worse than those DPP players like Track or Warner. And also he's had like 2 50-meter penalties in 3 games. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Track's not even scoring well. Like, he was scoring well up until the last quarter, and then he just stopped. So, I mean, Track might not even be that much better than Horn Francis, and you might.
I think the appeal is that he turns it around though if he gets that DPP.
Yeah,
I think that's probably why people are eyeing him off.
Yeah.
Something needs to change at Melbourne, and I think he's got to spend a bit more time in the midfield. So if we can get around Melbourne having a poor start of the season, and then they actually start winning some games after we get Track in, like it's not a bad shout.
What are your thoughts on Clary?
To be honest, outside, like, I was expecting a lot more from our 400k mids, like 450k mids, in a lot of our teams, and I almost wish that I had spent some extra money, potentially got another rookie in, and upgraded like a Chera and an Oliver to 600k mids instead. They're going to be really slow burns, and they're probably going to make 50k instead of the 100k plus that we had hoped that they were going to make. So, it just means more trades and stuff, but they're not performing to what I expected them to perform to. So, makes things a bit rough. I think we're just in the luxury time with best 18 at the moment, and a lot of the like the big names being injured. Because imagine if people had gone like Butters and Bond and everything else like that, and you went all these 400k guys, like, you would be stuffed. You'd be losing 300 points a week on everyone else. So we're kind of lucky that way that they all got injured, but I can foresee after this, maybe round 6, 7, 8, we're all going to be trying to upgrade these players as quick as we can. And some people are going to get left behind, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. What's your take on Gawn, fellas? Any beast scores left in him? Didn't mince my mighty Geelong Cats. Possibly Rucks this year. Not really a factor in team differentials. Should have spent the cash elsewhere. Now, you alluded to this earlier, Big J.
Yeah, I wish I had spent the money elsewhere, 100% if I could have. The thing with Gawn is that the only reason why his scoring jumped up was because he actually did stuff around the ground. He was on like 30 to 40 points just from all the hit outs to advantage and stuff. And he had to will himself into that second and third quarter to be able to do that. Hence the okay scoring. I don't know if he'll be able to do that every week. He was looking really slow and sluggish and all that kind of stuff. And like, I said before, but it's probably the last time we actually pick Max Gawn in our teams. I mean, that was the reason why I started him in the season. And, you know, I got the Max Gawn hanging out over here and whatever, just kind of like nostalgia, but there's no way I'm picking him again. And I think just with his price at the moment, similar to a Horn Francis, as you guys were saying, like, you've just got to ride the wave now. He'll be 580k and whatever. Maybe he's got a good run for the next little long, but 100%. I think Melbourne, coach, what buy do Melbourne have? Round 15? Round 15, I would be looking at who can I upgrade Max Gawn to, because I don't think he'll be in my team after round 15.
Yeah.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gawn's one. He's probably going to be the guy. You're probably going to have to hold him, and you're probably just going to have him at flex or something. I reckon. That's what I probably think. Are we still going to be picking 3 rucks in our teams this year?
Yeah.
Or are we going to
Potentially
look
not.
are we going to look at a defender and get 7 defenders in?
I'm sneakily considering Tom Stewart at flex at 470k if I can somehow manage the money in 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
See what happens there.
Hey, Yaron, how's it going?
Yaron.
Up, Yaron.
G'day, Michael. Great start to the round. It's been good. I mean, all my players have just scored about the 100 mark. It's a nice feeling. So no carnage as of yet.
Apart from scumbag Henderson with the 32.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that though.
That's just he's kind of just like some guy that's just sitting on my team. He's just there. I don't really care for him. Concrete feet, Gawn ain't going large again. Can't even jump off the ground.
It was dropping marks like no one's business too.
Oh,
and I saw a few times in the game that was really surprising where he actually elected to punch and not mark as well. Like they were straight up, hey, got the ball here and try and hit it out onto the floor for the crummers or just not go for the mark. So yeah, it doesn't bode well for him.
Yeah, there were a few times like down the line or even in the back line where he could have taken him where he had an opportunity to take a mark that he would have clunked last year or the year before, and now he just can't. Gawn is the GOAT. He's probably one of the best. He's up there with Ruckman of all time. That's for sure. Could be the best.
And he's definitely like SuperCoach royalty. Don't get me wrong, but every era comes to an end at some point.
Yeah. Michael was the GOAT for sure. Best Ruckman of all time, but ain't what he was. So sad. Yeah, I mean this just happens, doesn't it? Short 125 this week. I want you, Michael, to go look at his last 3 scores against Brisbane. Please do it. I think it's a 54, a 64, and like a 75 or something. There's no good scores in there.
That hasn't gone higher.
If he goes 125, I don't know. I don't know. I'll be mad, but I'll be like, I'm still glad I got him out of the team anyway. I forgot to screen record trading short to Baz. Damn it. Yeah, no, good trades. Special thanks to Ben Patton for being somewhat useful. Lol. I've said this multiple times now, but I wish I started Ben Patton so that I had that DPP flexibility.
Yeah.
I could have done a short straight to a Baz. I could have done all this different stuff. Could have got Connor O'Sullivan instead of Henderson, and all that. But you live and you die by the picks you make.
On to the next season.
Big shout out to Yaron to the bloody flex position. I think that's the best thing they've put in the game in a while. Like outside of boosts and best 18, which I think has kept a few people into the game who, they had 2 players on 9 points 2 weeks ago, like myself. Flex is fantastic. Like I can now swap a defender to a forward to a midfielder without even having to do anything. Like it's a really. I know people complained a lot. Put my hand up. I was one of them as well. But yeah, flex is fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. I'm loving it this year. It's enjoyable. Tom, I love you too, mate. I love you too. Cute dog. Calm it down. Hi guys, I'm thinking Zorko will get a sub vest for the rest of this week. What do you think? If so, I have Neil, Whitfield, and Sinclair. Okay, so I saw I know where this exact comment has come from, because I watched and I went on the SuperCoach Insider Live the other day, and Ben and Swizz started talking about how they think Zorko is going to get the sub vest. There is no way after 3 games they're just going to rest him. Surely not. Like, and if it happens, it's just super unlucky. I don't know. I would back yourself in and back.
The thing with Zorko is there's no one else who can really play the role for Brisbane. Like, it's not like Jaden Short where 5 other people take kickouts for the team. Like, he's the only one. So their version of resting him is just putting him forward, and then he kicks 3 goals. Like that's their cool. Yep, you're resting now. You're in the forward line. So I think you'll be okay. And they want the percentage. They need best time to get percentage is the start of the season, man. Keep your good players on. That's it.
For sure.
Definitely.
God, how are you going with your goated R2 this week? Oh, mate, let's just give me a second. Oh, I've just got my game day up at the moment. Yeah, here he is. So he's an absolute jet, this bloke. I might captain him actually. But no, we're not going to do that. We're going to put that back to Zorko. But yeah, I mean, a bit frustrating selection, of course. But you know what? I'm never picking a 260k ruckman again. I can tell you that much. But who knows? Maybe Flynn's 200k next year, and I might pick him up then. Yeah. Oh God, it's frustrating.
Season 2 of the Flynn Diaries.
Ned Moyle, man. Ned Moyle. That's the one.
Yeah,
we'll get Ned
sure.
Moyle at 200k because he goes to Melbourne.
Yeah, I reckon we just keep it at this. We don't really need a screen, do we? If we need one, we'll get one up. Where are we up to? Here we are. Chera should have had more than 6 points for 3 marks, 2 effective kicks, a handball, and got 6 points for it, and had a tackle and didn't get rewarded. I mean, it depends what point in the game it was, I guess, and were the kicks actually listed as effective? Because there's sometimes when a kick is like bounces a few times, then your player picks it up and it's not counted as effective. So I don't know. Champion Data is a weird company.
No one actually knows how it works. It's you take a stab, you're throwing darts, blindfolded, and they're like, okay, 10 points.
Yeah.
Probably
I watch the games and I have fan footy on my phone and I'm just sitting there looking at it. I see Clary has 3 handballs and a kick in like a minute and they all hit a target and he gets like 6 SuperCoach points for it. And I'm like, what? I swear that's meant to be 9, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I don't know. It's bloody weird how they do it.
I'm actually forcing myself to not do that during games and just check in at quarter time. It's so hard.
Oh, mate, yeah. I mean, you probably have a better mental health.
I actually enjoyed the game.
Yeah, I can actually watch the game, but I'm also at the back of my mind, I'm like, get the bloody ball, Baz.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like a scary reveal. You're like,
yeah, I know. Clary has slow acceleration now, no longer has his quick first couple of steps, also fumbles too much. Yeah, I don't know how I thought he'd honestly come back and be this and just go back to what he was 2 years ago. Like that's what I thought would happen. I don't know how he wouldn't be able to if he's doing similar training to what he was. He's training just as well as what he was 2 years ago. So
I don't think it's a physical thing with the Melbourne lot. I think it's a mental game at the moment. Like they're all in a deep hole at the moment mentally. Like Track is frustrated he's not getting mid-time. Clary's probably frustrated he hasn't got Track there to help him. Gorn's got his own stuff going on. Like they're mentally checked out by the looks of it. Like I don't think it's a physical thing. I think they're just not. They're not all on the same page. Like and that's very very clear. Like you've got I think who was it? Was it Fringe? Was that the forward player from Melbourne?
Fritch.
Fritch, yeah, Fritch. Some of his plays, yeah, with the hair, that one, yeah. I love how he has a feature.
Elvis.
Some of the plays I was watching him, like he was not looking for team ball. He was 40 meters out and thought, yeah, I can just snap it, and then he could have just handballed and had an easy goal. Get a score involvement and get the boys close. Like it's just like that sort of stuff. It's feels bad.
I think Melbourne's in a bit of trouble. Just looking at an aspect that you guys probably haven't talked about much is just the amount of inexperienced players that are now in the team, and the reliance on them to do really well as well. You look at guys like, I would almost say half of their team now, and maybe it's the rebuild. I think it's a combination of that plus offloading players like Hunt and James Jordan and a few others. But if you look at this team, you got Langford, you got Windsor, you got Henderson, you got Sharp. Charlie Spargo hasn't played much. You got Dan Turner. You've got few of these other players too who just haven't played much AFL. So the ball gets to them and they're fumbly or they're just not very good and things like that. And that's why they're on the bottom of the ladder. They just don't have experience anymore. The players have started to retire or they've changed clubs or whatever's happened. And yeah, they get the ball half the time. You don't know if they're going to kick it out or kick a goal, so makes it really tough. But that's where the frustration of an Oliver and Petrarca come from as well. Heck, Max Gawn too. He'll hit it to somebody and they'll be like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't get the pass anymore." So makes things a bit rough for them. It's not really going to change either.
Clary has a good run coming up. Yeah, he's got Richmond and West Coast in 2 consecutive. How many teams have Richmond and West Coast in 2 consecutive weeks throughout the year? It's actually ridiculous.
I think a couple.
And he's got Essendon next week. He's got Hawthorn in there as well. But yeah, you just hold the faith with Clary. Hope he comes good.
Can you imagine a ruck line where you're like, nah, all the rucks are trash. R1's Meek, R2 Briggs.
It'd actually be working.
It could. That's the thing is we're at this point where it could be a reality. Pitnet comes back, TDK's out of the discussion. Gorlon's ages. It's some massive regression. Cherry goes down with a hamstring. Maybe it's the year of DCAM.
Actually, that's a good shout. DCAM, I reckon he'll be all right. He'll be good this year if you started him. Obviously, you'd be annoyed with the round 1 score that he had, but yeah,
I was going to start Meek. I think he's really good. I think Hawthorn just in general are getting better, and the price was fantastic. The only thing that stopped me from picking him was the early buy. That was it. Cherry no buy, Nank no buy, TDK no buy, Max Gorn no buy. For you to miss out on 550k, I wasn't too happy with.
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, I'm getting Briggs next week, so I'll be halfway there. Hey guys, been seeing the trend of mids who get their points via tackles. Libba, Dunks, and Rao are seeming to be safer than your Dacos and Neils. When upgrading mids, which way will you guys go? I guess it's kind of based on run as well. What's their run look like?
I think you're seeing a lot of that as well. Dodgy Malacca, I love that name. I think you're seeing a lot of that as well, just for the fact that there's taggers. So the guys that you've mentioned, the Neils and Dacoses, tagging this year just didn't really exist last year. There was one team. It was McGuinness and then Geelong would tag. But every team now seems to have 1 or 2 taggers and all run with players that can neutralize. So the guys that, as you're saying, get all the tackles and are those big burly players that can't really be tagged are the ones that are going big. So maybe the accumulators in the midfield are just no good this year,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. What do you think, rookie?
Yeah, I've probably harped on this a bit too much with regarding the tag because I was talking about it preseason, or at least from opening round, that we saw the tag come in late last year. Obviously, you had like your McGuinness, you had your Jordans and Bedfords, and then you had like your run with players, and then you come out round 0 and Jordan's straight onto a tag. Okay, well this is probably something to keep an eye on. And that's why I went like your Dunkleys and your Richards to start as M1, M2. Like I went your second Bananas or Roundabouts because they're less likely to get tagged. And like the first Bananas are going to have spike games. That's inevitable because not all teams are going to tag. But over like a consistent basis, like I cannot complain or say any bad word about Dunks. He's done so well. And like he could have had a bigger game last week, sure. But I mean, what the man's averaging. What's he averaging at the moment? He's averaging 131.7. Like, I can't really complain.
Yeah, for sure. He will because you traded him. I don't know what this is in regards to.
Maybe short.
Yeah, that might be right. Yeah. Thoughts on Clary putting up okay scores along with Chera, but what do you reckon they'll end up being? It's hard to tell. I mean, I'm okay if they both just continue to score like this for a while, and then we can always just upgrade them to someone. Because look, a lot of midfielders getting tagged at the moment. It's not going to be a big downfall if you have these guys averaging 100 or just over.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, what do you guys reckon?
Look, I'm a big proponent of, unless you've got someone like a Dunkley that's now like the only midfielder left at Brisbane, so you have to get him in, otherwise you just can't get him. Upgrade the rookies in your team first. So if you've got a guy in the midfield who's scoring your 90s to 100, it's not your worst player. Get rid of the other guys first, and then if Clary ends up being the last person you have to upgrade in your team, fantastic. So keep him there. Don't have to worry too much about his situation at the moment.
Couldn't agree anymore. And that's the thing, right? It's very much the same with like a Sheasel situation.
Yeah, 100%.
He's not doing horribly. Like obviously there was probably expectations that, hey, we're paying over 600K for you, give us at least a 105. But it's that sort of thing where they're probably not going to be your biggest problem. And if they are, I mean, you've done well, let's be honest. You're probably sitting in the top 1% consistently. But they're never going to be a problem target for you to get out of your team. They're going to be, okay, well, they're still averaging 95. I need to get this rookie who's been dropped, or this rookie who's given me sub 50s off field, or whatever it might be. You're going to have much bigger problems to handle. And they might just stick around and be your last upgrades.
I think the mindset changes a little bit. Like for Horn Francis, there was opportunity for me to upgrade into different players. And I think for a lot of people who've jumped off the Perryman and Short, it was the same thing as well before the round changes. Like Bailey Dale averaging like 130, Sinclair doing really well, Whitfield coming off his bye round as well, so no one would have started him. Things like that. Spending 100K into those when you could downgrade like a Foss or someone, get the extra money, do that kind of thing was beneficial. But like midfielders averaging 90 to 100 is pretty good. So versus defenders averaging 80 and then the top ones averaging 120. So
I think they'll all average just like above 100. Probably around, more likely to be around that 100 mark. I reckon. I don't think any of them, at least the ones I have, I don't think any of them will be averaging under 100.
Well, we'll get Bonds, we'll get Butters back now. There'll be a couple of others like that are coming back from injuries that are going to be okay.
Okay. And that's the thing is like the Horn Francis trade last week to fix structure was always the right move. Always the right move. Like if you had,
especially when you got Davidson on field for Horn Francis.
Exactly. Exactly. But it's like, and that's the thing though, is like, like there was always going to be a few of these players on the chopping block that didn't have the season. We probably didn't expect it to be like a Sheasel, some of us probably aren't surprised it was Horn Francis. But if you were having 2 rooks on field and you weren't confident, or maybe you had like an O'Connell there as well instead of an O'Sullivan, and you're like, I just need to get at least a primo in the back line.
Yeah.
Like going from a Horn Francis to a Sinclair to a Whitfield, or I feel like that would have been a much better trade. And that's pretty much I see that in the same light as what I did with Stewie. Stewie was going to bleed cash. I used him to get up to Sinclair and got Fridge in. And at this rate, the way things are going, I might just get Stewart back in and do a sideways on Fridge, which I'm more than happy to do. I was prepared to do that when I traded him out. But that's obviously a risky move in itself because I'm trading back into a PCL injured player, so I may not even do it. But that was kind of the theory, was Fridge can hang around, hopefully give me an 80, and see what's around the market at the time where it comes to chop him out.
Viney's more cooked than all the Melbourne players. Can't run anymore. Melbourne's one-pace midfield is a tough watch. Yeah, I haven't really thought about Viney, but yeah. I mean, he has not looked good whatsoever.
Crazy to think he could have gone to North Melbourne and we would have paid up for him, and then decided to stay at Melbourne, and then there you go.
Yeah.
Oopsie doopsie. Yeah.
Yep, he agrees. Yaron agrees with you, Big J. Rankin got subbed on 90 and finished on 97. So Zorko's, if sub, will have his 120 scale to 135. Yeah.
Imagine.
That'd be great. Flynn best ruck since Vickery. Oh God. Who's more important to get in, Humphrey or Moraes? Marriage.
Option C.
Option C, marriage.
It depends what goes. Goes back to the question I said before about if you think Humphrey's going to be a keeper, then pick him up because it's 270k and you get a keeper. If your structure's no good and you're really worried about your cash gen, Moraes might be the way to go. Because it's best 18 next week, and I've already seen a bunch of teams. It's crazy. I've seen teams at the moment that have no midfield rookies playing on the bench and like one playing in the forward line. Like your cash gen in 3 weeks is dead. God forbid Camporelli doesn't come back next week. Like your cash gen is gone. So sometimes that's more important.
Yeah, it's true. Very true.
Yeah, it just really depends how you look at it. I couldn't have said any better than Big J. Humphreys, it just depends on if he's a keeper to you or not. If he is, and you don't need the cash gen, perfect. But if you want cash gen, you go Moraes every single time.
And all of a sudden, the back line, we can count on the back line rookies.
Yeah.
Over any other line. How things can flip so quickly. It's ridiculous. I'm heavily considering the Bailey Humphrey trade-in. His SC to DT ratio is terrible, and I'm getting in Whitfield and Marriage already, but have enough for Humphrey. So is it worth using a boost for that? Okay. Well, you're getting in Whitfield and Marriage. I don't hate it. I don't hate having a punt and doing it. But yeah, it's going to be hard if both of them fail. That's the only thing. If both of them fail and they're both pretty crap picks, it's going to be hard to fix all of that up when you have to. But what do you guys think?
It's tricky because I don't mind the idea of getting both because you eventually get to see who was the right call and then make the cash off the other one and then trade him down to a rookie potentially. So you kind of get a good view of both, or you don't get in both and you kind of wait to see who does well and then bring them in next week at a higher price if you think they're a keeper, not for cash gen.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. If you're going to pick them, they're not going to be bad trades because they're just going to make you a bunch of money anyway. Like if you spend the trade now and Marriage, Marich kind of gets to like 350, 400K, cool, you've made enough money off him. It's more just, hey, do you think he's going to be a keeper? The role's there, but if, the average just might not be. So it's just something to consider a little bit. But it's more dependent on your team. Like I go back to cash gen and whatnot. This point in the season is when the rookies really start to dry up. Like we've been lucky. Maybe we'll get a Whitlock. Maybe we'll get a Clay Hall next week. Maybe Trowbridge Avalia scores a bit more, so we get him in. Like, I mean, he's already overpriced. So, yeah, makes things tough.
Yeah, for sure.
Question for you, God. I've seen that people are worried about Marich playing a bit more of a key defender role. What do you reckon? Are you nervous?
Nah, I'm not nervous.
I know, you don't sound very confident there, mate.
Oh, no, I'm not nervous. I think they've brought in a key defender, so that gives me hope that won't be the case. I think he will still be taking every single kick in anyway. So I don't think much can go wrong with the Marich pick, to be honest. And watch me be completely wrong, and I'll have to trade him out in 2 weeks. But
I mean, that's 2 West Coast players that you've started and brought in that are.
Yeah, I might never bring in a West Coast player again if this goes wrong.
That's the thing, though. I think like if you really chalk up the difference between Humphreys and Marich, you're going for a safe floor. Humphreys, you're going for a ceiling.
Yeah. What are you? You're getting Marich, aren't you?
I'm fading both for this week.
Okay. So you guys are both fading both.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm hoping he fails for you.
Not
gonna lie.
I know you are, because this week, if he goes big if he tons up or above this week, you're in danger, rookie.
I'm nervous.
Alrighty. Not going O'Connell could cost me big time.
You mean O'Sullivan?
What do you mean O'Sullivan?
O'Connell got injured. So not going him saved you.
Going O'Connell would cost you big time.
Or Joe. Mm-hmm. Joe's got O'Connell hanging out in the back line. So sad.
Yeah, right.
Just like a dead rookie.
Yeah. Pick one, Matt Flynn or Rolton Roberts.
Hey, Matt Flynn has a chance, man. He could come back.
Bloody hell.
It's a good loophole too. Like West Coast have a lot of Sunday games, so use Matt Flynn as your ruck loophole.
And have a 260K bloke just sitting on the bench.
Well, you don't have to trade him. You can just be like, oh yeah, Matt Flynn, cool. No worries, mate.
God. Fritsch has kicked 1 goal, 7 behinds, and 3 no scores.
Yep, it's rough, man. It's rough.
Yeah, I mean, and he's normally a pretty safe set shot as well. Like, you back him in most weeks.
It just goes back to the pressure of him having to stand up because they don't have a lot of mature ages anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. Hold Petrarca in case he gets forward status. Yeah, I'd be holding Petrarca if you have him.
Just quickly pull up. I think someone said he got 66% forward time today. So
yeah, he's going to get forward DPP. I think it's pretty locked in now. Like, yeah.
I think if you held him this week, you kind of have it's the same with like the Horn Francis. If you're holding any of these players this week, a Sheasel or Horn Francis, a Track, you're in for the ride. You're not trading them out when they're bottomed out. You just you're going for that death ride, unfortunately.
Do you fellas have the price projection for the main targets like Uncle Stewart and Briggs? Well, I can get it up quickly.
If you guys haven't already, footy-wise, really good. It's got all the break-evens on there. There's also that SuperCoach extension that Joe's been using quite a lot as well. I think Skodfather did a video on it. You can get that for Chrome and Firefox and stuff too. So that's really good, kind of circumnavigating, having to pay for SuperCoach Gold a little bit.
Here we go. So Briggs if he tons up this week, he'll drop 43k and then he'll even out. I can't be bothered doing on this stuff, but yeah, he'll even out back to like 44.73. That 3 or whatever it was will be at 5. Will be out of his system. And then who was the other one? It was
Stewie.
Stuart.
If Stewart keeps turning up, he'll probably bottom out at maybe the 460, 470 mark, depending on what he scores.
So what did he just score? 118?
118, yeah.
Let's say 100.
300, massive game.
Oh, there we go again. 100, 100. Yeah, it would go to 460.
So try and get Stewart in, if not next week, probably the week after is the last time before he's going to jump back up in scoring again. Yeah. Which could even be after next week if Henry's out for a prolonged period of time.
Do you regret trading him, rookie?
Talk to me about it.
I traded him too.
It's bittersweet because it's like, yeah, if you were going to hold him, best 18 was probably the time to hold him. But he also got me Sinclair in that 162. So and I still have a way of getting him back in if he's legit. So I'm not mad because it got me a Sinclair and a broken fridge. So
yeah, well, it got me.
It hasn't turned out too bad.
It got me a Zorko. However, the annoying thing is we could have fielded all 3 of Pryor, Trainer, and Reed and been fine.
Mm-hmm. Mate, I saw Trainer's 90 against my Fraser's 67 or 68, whatever it was, and I'm like, I contemplated just getting Bice in early, and I should have bloody done it. I should have done it, but it's hindsight. It's hindsight.
When Short got 89 and I had Trainer sitting on my bench, I was like, why do I still have this muppet? Anyway, but yeah, that's just how it is. It's just how it is. Which 2 of M. Reed, Max Hall, and Marias on field? I'd be putting Max Hall and Reed probably.
Okay.
Maybe Marias instead of. Oh, I don't know. They all kind of had ceiling games from what I can tell. So maybe I don't know. Max Hall's got a good matchup. So that's why I like him on field. Who are Freo playing? Doggies probably wouldn't put Murphy Reid on field. Maybe
I go Marias and Hall.
Yeah, Marias and Hall. Yeah. Marias has Saints. You should do it right on them. That should be, yeah. Reed and Marias. So the other boys having their take. Israel a trap? Feel like he always starts hot this year. Every year. I don't actually think he is a trap this year. I'm not picking him, but I don't think he's a trap.
I think the only reason why he ends up being a trap is because he gets injured. So if he can dodge that, this could almost be Gold Coast's year of finally getting into the top 8. And I think Matt Rowell 100% alongside Bailey Humphrey is going to push that quite a lot. So they're going to tag Anderson. They're going to try and tag Tuke Miller. I think Matt Rowell will be okay. And he's got these weird things where he can be really quiet and then get like 3 kicks, a contested possession, and then a goal in like 5 seconds. And then it's like, oh, cool. Like, be like Horn Francis last week. Did nothing for 3 quarters and then in the space of 5 minutes just like fixed himself. So Matt Rowell definitely does that quite a lot.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we'll go for like 10 more minutes. We'll go through like, I don't know, 15, 20 more comments, and then we'll go to bed because bloody hell, it's midnight.
Yeah, we're just getting into the good stuff. It's officially after dark hours now.
There you go.
God, how's it going, legend? On my lunch break at work and got bloody excited seeing your name pop up on my phone. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Hope work isn't too much of a pain in the ass. But yeah. I have Archer Reed in my forward line. Do I move Harry Boyd and Reed to R3 and get another good rookie in another good position, another position? Is he a good rookie? I don't know if he's a good rookie. He's a rookie.
I don't mind it. I think it's going to be okay. I think depending on how a Clay Hall kind of goes next week, you might be able to do some swapping around and then get another cash gen player. But if you have a look at like best 18's gone after this week, right? If you have a look at St Kilda's matchups for the next however long, give me 1 sec. Filter team.
Yeah, Harry Boyd's not playing, so
yeah. So if we have a look after this week, St Kilda play Sunday, St Kilda play Saturday night, St Kilda play Saturday afternoon. Then they have 2 Friday games in a row, and then it's Sunday up until the bye. So he's a decent enough loophole as like R3 loophole for captaincy that you can probably keep him for a little while, and eventually he'll come back into the team. So yeah, that's kind of my plan at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably just going to be my loop for the year unless Marshall gets injured, and he'll make some money.
Can make some money. Yeah.
Yeah. The top high-priced draft picks have failed. Layla, Foss, Jagger, Draper. Wow, yeah. Nuts.
And they typically do, and that's kind of where Skodfather's tactics of not picking anyone who's super expensive definitely comes into play. Because, I mean, I know about myself, probably Coach and yourself are the same thing, where we had Foss, we had Sardis, and now we've downgraded them to a cheaper player already. So next year, maybe we just start them and say, cool, like, I'll save the extra 100K and you can start Bailey Dale instead of Jaden Short in your team next year instead of picking Foss over Clay Hall or whatever. So, yeah.
Well, mate, my team's going to be full reject shop next season.
Yep. And it's the way to go, man. Depending on who's available at that cheaper price. Like, you just go bargain basement and say, cool, I've just got better primos than you. So, sucked in.
Any good beard tips? So you're not happy with your beard, Big J, or
just I actually wrote beach tips. I actually fixed it up with beard tips underneath.
I saw that. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, do you know? Just like it's nice to hear about what other people do.
I actually shaved my beard. I had a beard for a little while, then I shaved it back to the mo. It's so hard to keep a clean shaven face. Like my beard just grows back too quickly. It's so frustrating. But honestly, just some nice beard oil. Go to a barber. Like actually get it shaved. Go treat yourself.
Yeah, that's what
it's actually the best. Like it's downtime. It looks great. Changes everything. But just treat it as your hair. Just shampoo, conditioner, oil it up. Glisten it. Keep it healthy.
So my beard was like what yours is like now, or maybe a little bit less, like a month ago. So that's how quick it grows. It grows quick.
Oh yeah, if I don't shave, this will get nice and thick. Yeah. I might leave it for winter.
We say this as like the guy with no facial hairs running the channel.
Yeah, well, mate, I've been growing this for 20 years, all right? There's no shaving going on here, all right? I've been growing this.
Have you got your first chest hair yet?
I reckon it's looking all right. I reckon it's going all right. So, oh well.
Sorry, God's still waiting on his chest hair.
I actually find it annoying shaving. I find it's just a pain in the
Really?
ass.
It don't seem like you have to do it that often.
I have to do it like 4 days. It's not often.
Very nice.
But that's just to
grow it out.
That's just to get rid of just all the bum fluff, mate.
Yeah, the peach fuzz.
Yeah, exactly right.
Grow it out.
I traded JHF to Baz and Nevitt to Moraes. Got 240K. Do I boost to get Whitfield, Sinclair, or Rankin?
I really like. I think Rankin is really good. It's partly why I've gone Dawson in my midfield and hasn't worked out that well. But they have a fantastic run at Adelaide Oval for the next few weeks. I think Sinclair is probably one of the best ones. It's actually a really tough question. I think Sinclair is probably the best one just because he's going to become unattainable very, very, very quickly. Whereas Rankin around that 530 mark due to the 97, Whitfield is probably going to be teetering around that price too. With the no Jack Steele again this week, I think he's probably going to be out for a little while too. That it's really worth like jumping on him. I'm upset I don't have him, just how good his scoring is, and takes all like majority kickouts, then takes CBAs, then he's used as the link up player. Like it's tough to watch and not have him, Michael. So yeah.
Oh well,
I think Sinclair is going to be a lock though. Rankin, I don't mind. The only concern I'll have about Rankin is with Rochelle going down. Does Rankin spend a bit more time forward? Like, I don't know if Adelaide have a direct replacement for Rochelle.
Did Crouch get injured?
And Crouch got injured.
So that could mean he would get more mid-time, you would have thought.
Well, that's what I mean. You also have that, and then you throw in like Draper as well. Do they send Draper like high half forward and keep Rankin in the middle to replace Crouch, or they give Draper a run at the mids?
I think Draper will probably not be the sub this week, just the way that the team's lining up and slowly bringing him in. But I think Rankin's going to be fine. He just adds another dynamic, and he's probably like 50-50 percentage between both anyway. So you can't. It's not like he's playing 80% CBAs and then now he goes down less. Like if he doesn't get possessions in the midfield, he's now kicking goals in the forward line. Like he's just that good.
He is that good.
Yeah. Alrighty, fellas, can you predict a SuperCoach score this week? Wayne plays like he has malaria. What will Wayne Malera score this week? Who's he playing?
Gold Coast, up north.
Gold Coast. He will score.
Let me cheat. What's his previous scoring been like? Let me make an educated guess.
I'm not even going to have an educated guess. I'm going to go out on a limb and say 67.
See, I was going to say 47. So,
I reckon it's going to be in the defensive half a bit more because it's Gold Coast. So I reckon he'll get just a little bit more.
53.
Oh, damn, I'm pretty hopeful. Goddamn.
Jeez, Jonas, does Jonas actually own him?
I reckon
because if he does, you would not want to hear that.
It's all sub 70, so it's looking pretty grim, mate.
Yeah.
Is it going to be wet in WA this weekend? Sorry, not in WA, in Queensland.
I don't know. No clue.
Do the check. Saturday is going to be 27.
They dropped a key defender also.
Yeah, talking about marriage in West Coast. Yeah.
Who did they drop?
Mike.
Concern. He's nervous. The guy's going to become immortal.
No, where does Harry Edwards play?
Backline.
I'm pretty sure he was a key defender.
Yeah, so Harry Edwards is gone. So my Gov, Harry Edwards are both gone. So they've brought in one. I know there's Tom Gross who plays midfield too. So yeah, they brought in.
I think Tom Cole's more likely to be playing a key defensive role than Marriage, to be honest.
Yeah,
he's 189. He can do a job if he needs to.
Tom Gross still doesn't have an AFL page, by the way, guys. If you're interested, I think he's the only player
could go wrong
in the AFL. Even Sandy Brock has a page.
Is it too late to get O'Sullivan in, or is it worth getting Travalia or Trainer in?
Look, I think O'Sullivan's going to be very, very good over the next few weeks. I would probably track and see what Henry's injury is, because if it's like 3 or 4 weeks, which it could be with a hammy, like it takes a while, O'Sullivan might be 250k next week, and you're like, cool, he's going to get to 400k. I'm laughing, and I get scores of 80s and 90s on field. So
What did O'Sullivan score in the end?
Like 102.
103? Like 103 or something?
It's very good. Very, very good.
It's also contemplation I'm having as well.
Yeah.
Because if
It
like
more
fridge
just depends
breaks,
on your back line, I think, a little bit, and how many trade. Like if you spent, so I've spent 9 trades in my team already, which means 3 boosts. I physically can't, as someone who considers himself to be good at SuperCoach, I can't spend a boost and get O'Sullivan in next week. Like my amount, whenever I look at my team at the start of the season, I say, cool, on average, it's going to cost me 3 trades to upgrade my team. This is how many players I've got to upgrade in the team. Cool. Divide that by 3 gives me the amount. I can't, in good conscience, unless I think O'Sullivan is going to make me enough money, spend an upgrade to get him in. Because I don't think he'll be a keeper. He'll be fantastic. You'll love him. He'll be like burdening me for the next 5 weeks, and I'll hate it. But like, I've got Reed, now got Bice, I've got Trainer. All like, yeah, it kind of doesn't work. But for yourself, Andrew, it could end up working out quite well. So it just depends on your team and how many trades. Like if you spent 3 trades, 100% chuck him in there. No worries.
Yeah.
You know, you can sideways, whatever, but yeah, it doesn't work otherwise.
I've looked at what his projection will be. I've just had a look now. He will be Marich's price by the dollar. So
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like you could have jumped on him 2 weeks ago, and he's already made 120k. Like it's
nuts,
freaking bonkers, man.
Bloody too long plays.
And his break even will be super low too. So at 270k, do you bring him in? Potentially, but really depends on how many trades you've spent in your team.
Oh my God.
I don't mind the play. Like you could, it is a consideration that if that, depending on the Henry incident, and how long he's out, I could trade out Fridge, throw Bice in the defense for him, and then put O'Sullivan in at flex.
Or you could just go Fridge to O'Sullivan.
I mean, all that, but I like the idea of having him at flex to cover some scores.
We got some news. We got some breaking news.
What's that? What trade have you done? What have you done?
No. That rookie coach has overtaken SuperCoach Pro.
Oh my. By 1.
By 1 or 2, yeah.
Hey man, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Not bad.
Congratulations, mate.
Thanks, mate.
SuperCoach Pro, you need to up your game, mate. Seriously, what is this? Up your game.
Buy a new microphone and a new camera.
Did you see what happened today, Big J?
What?
Oh my God!
With his stream.
No, what happened? Like his internet. Someone mentioned his internet.
God was streaming out on his channel. Oh God, you can walk it through because it's funnier.
So I was on Brad's channel on a live stream. I just joined his live stream at like midday or something, and I was like, "Oh, I'll text him. I'll ask, do you want me to hop on or whatever?" So I hop on. We go for like half an hour to an hour, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go show you my Wi-Fi box because my Wi-Fi is so bad." And he goes over to the Wi-Fi box, and all of a sudden his screen freezes up. And then I'm just talking to some just person that's like not even present. His camera's frozen. Turns out, and then I had to, he disconnected from the whole thing, and I was running his channel for like a couple of minutes.
Fair enough.
And then he came back and told us that he dropped his laptop on his router or something.
Mate,
full
this guy's
drop
had
of
some
luck
bad
there.
luck. He lost his car and then had to go pick it up from the impound lot and lost his phone and then's done everything else and blah blah blah. Like it's not fun for Brad at the moment.
Oh yeah, and then he
No.
and then his side mirror got ripped off.
Yeah.
And then he kept it. Just so he can look at himself in the mirror. That's why. Yeah, no, it's bloody hilarious. Hippo, the lads. How are you, Hippo?
What's up, Hippo?
Have
That's
you changed your bloody
Yeah, it's
profile
different
picture?
now.
Yeah.
It's bloody hilarious. Is that hiding from all the bad SuperCoach pics, mate? That's what that is. That's a cover up smiley face, mate. No,
That
Hippo's
is
actually doing
Chris-
pretty well.
That's Chris Scott's expression after saying there won't be any changes on Thursday.
Yeah, Hippo, you need to bring back, what was that series he did where he would pick a player every week and just bag them, a player or a coach, and just bag them for 10 minutes straight. Bring that back, Hippo. Bring that back. Hippo's super nuts, can the blue balls. Alrighty, I reckon we're gonna finish this up because I am knackered and I need to go to sleep.
Mate,
But,
you're youngest here. This is meant to be your prime time. What are you talking about?
I got a 21st tomorrow night, so I might join SuperCoach after dark from
Do
my
it.
phone.
I'll be going live tomorrow night for similar hours, guys. Hopefully, and I'm pretty sure Brad's going to join me because he wasn't able to join last night because of his St. Kilda adventures.
Yeah.
But yeah, Big J, if you're around tomorrow night and you're free, feel free to join in.
Sure.
bloody hell.
Stephen, well, just while you're there, Stephen, 100% he can get to 400k very easy. The guy's a freak. He plays very, very well. Super duper IQ. Like, he's just a very good player. And he's not a first year player either. He's a second year player. So they've put time into him. The guy played, and this is something that I didn't realize until afterwards, but the guy went and played a full game of EFL and then played, like, on the same day, went and played a quarter of AFL and got 8 touches. So, yeah, he's a good player. Don't put that as a surely he can't do that as the only reason why you wouldn't consider to get him in, because he's very good.
Yeah.
See Zorko, Jim.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, see Zorko.
Yes, for sure. All right.
He's averaging 130. Like, how do you not?
Yeah, I know. He's a gun. Anyway, thank you, lads. Thank you for coming on. If you haven't already, sub to the rookie coach himself. Where can they find you, mate?
Just Rookie Coach AFL at the YouTube and the Twitter.
Yep, easy. And so go subscribe to the Centre Bounce. You probably already have. They're pretty big these days. The two boys. And where can they find you, mate?
At the Centre Bounce on YouTube and Twitter, and check out Review Crew on Mondays live stream.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
for the three of us. It's essentially an after dark review crew at this point.
Yeah, we just need Kai and we'd be all right. But
there you go. He's still complaining about his team but not being very good.
But I've taken over the review crew and it's now on my channel. So
yeah.
But anyway, thank you for coming on, lads, and I'll see you all. I'll post a video on Sunday or something, so I'll see you guys all then. But yeah, have a good one.
Catches.